Hey friends, we are down to our last two pages of our Unit 3 review. So get your pencils ready, get your journals turned to page 237. We're going to turn these last two pages in today, and I'm going to put a cloud around the pages that we're going to take pictures of and turn in. And this is a little bit of a shorter two pages, so hopefully it won't take us quite as long today. And then your job, after you turn the pages in, to me, is going to be to go over them over the next few days so that you could be prepared for our unit test that we're going to take next week. All right, so that you've got some ideas and you're practicing some skills that you maybe need some extra help with. So let's look on page 237 at number 14. You'll notice that number 14 has several parts to it. Okay, so here's what it says at the beginning. Pia collects 245 acorns in a jar. Okay, there's your information. So for the numbers here, you're going to select true or false. So we're going to have to do some work to figure out if this is an accurate statement or not. All right. It says that Pia collects 245 acorns. Okay. If Pia collects 193 more acorns, she now has 338 acorns. So if she starts with 245 and she collects this many more, we know we're going to be adding, right? So I'm going to put that operation right there to remind myself we're going to add. So I'm going to use all this white space over here. And I'm going to label mine letter A so that I know what work goes with this first part. So she had 245 and she's collecting 193 more. So I'm adding those numbers together, right? Because I'm looking for the total. What does she have now? 8, 13 tens, 4 hundreds. 438. What do you think about that? 438. It says that she now has 338. So I'll go back and double check my work to make sure I didn't make a mistake. 5 plus 3 is 8. 9 plus 4 more is 13. 2, 3, and 4. Nope, I'm pretty confident that my answer is 438. Is this true or false? It would be false, right? And you can just bubble in that if you like. I like to put a big circle around the whole thing. That way I know for sure that my teacher knows what answer I'm choosing. So we added for that one. Remember, here's the information. She collects 245 acorns. Pia gives 160 acorns to Anna. She now has 85 acorns. So if she's giving something away, right, her amount is going to be less. So we're going to subtract for this one, right? We have to know which operation we're going to do. So for B, we're going to subtract. We're going to have 245 to start with. She's giving away 160 to her friend. 5 minus 0. Look at that. There's not more on the floor. I can just subtract. 4 minus 6. 4 tens minus 6 tens. I can't do that. I have to ungroup my hundreds. Now I have 14 tens instead of 4 tens. 14 minus 6, I know, is an 8. These cancel each other out. I don't put a 0 at the beginning, so I have 85 left. 85 acorns? I think she's right. That's going to be true. Yeah, you can always double check yourself. Remember, if we check ourselves, we're going to add together our add-ins. 160 plus 85 would be 245. That's what we started with, right? That's the number of acorns she starts with. So I'm confident that I got that one right. Let's try letter C. Pia collects 286 more acorns. She uses 143 to decorate a tray. She now has 388 acorns. Ooh, this sounds to me like a two-step word problem. She starts with 245 and she collects this many more, right? So if she's collecting more, I'm going to have to start by adding. Then she uses 143. So if she uses them, she's going to take them away. So then I'm going to subtract to find out if this is correct or not. Okay, so let's try that. It's going to be in two parts. Here's her original amount. She collects 286 more. Let's see how many she has. $531. Okay, but remember, then she uses 143. So this is my first step, adding those together, the extra ones that she gets. And this is going to be my second step, right? I'm going to add it first, and then I have to take away. So now I've got 531. I'm going to take away the 143. So I'm going to rewrite 531, subtract the 143 that she uses. 11 minus 3 is 8. I have 2 10s. I want to take away 4. Now I have 12 10s, and I take away 4. There's 8. 4 minus 1 is 3. 388. It says she now has 388. That's a true statement. Okay? You have to show your work, right? And when you take your test, you're going to be showing your work and turning that in as well. One more to do. Pia gives her 2 sisters 85 acorns each. Now she has 160 acorns. So she's got 2 sisters, right? And they each get 85. So one sister gets 85, the second sister gets 85. Now she has this many left. I'm going to do this one right here. Okay, if she has 2 sisters and they get 85, I've got to figure out how much that is to begin with, right? So I'm going to start by adding those together. So 85 plus 85 more is how much she gives both of her sisters. So she's giving away 170. Remember how many she starts with? The 245. If she gives away 170, is she going to have 160 left? Let's check. I'm going to zoom that in a little bit. 5 minus 0, 4 minus 7, can't do that. It's going to be a 14, and that's a good double number. 75. Does she have 75 acorns? It says she has 160 acorns. That's really far off, right? That would be a false statement. Okay, so here's my first step. I had to add those 2 together. And then my second step was subtracting that amount, right, to see if that was indeed the total. Okay, so when they give us true or false options, right, you're not just going to guess. You're going to prove whether it's true or whether it's false. You're going to show your work to do that. Okay, it's not a quick thing, but you're going to show your thinking. Now let's take a peek at number 15. This one says Lee earns 321 points in the first round of a math contest. He earns another 278 points in the second round and 315 points in the third round. Lee says he has 804 points. Is Lee's answer reasonable? When I see that word reasonable, it starts with an R, just like this word. Right? I need to round to find out if this is reasonable. I'm not going to add these together, right? I just have to figure out if it's reasonable. So let's round. If I have 321, let's round that to the nearest 100. Remember how we boxed in our 100? And then we looked at the number next to it to tell us, does this stay the same or does it go up by 1, right? Adding another group. So 321 is either going to round to 300 or 400. This tells me it's going to stay So this is going to be rounded to 300. How about 278? Right? If I look at my hundreds place, I have to know which one that is. When I look next door, well, this is 5 or more, so it tells me I need to change this. So it's not going to be 200, it's going to round to 300. And then finally, I've got 315. Boxing my 100 because I'm rounding to the nearest 100. 4 or less, let it rest, leave it. So it's going to stay rounded to 300. Okay, so that's only part of what I need to do. Now I need to add these together, and I'm just going to rewrite them over here because it's a little squished. So I'm going to see, are these reasonable? Okay, it looks to me like he has about 900 points, right? He says 800 points. So is his answer reasonable? Okay, and we're just going to write no, circle that answer so you can see it. Here's our proof. This is what we did, right? His estimate should be closer to 900. He's about 100 off, right? He's got more points than he says he does. The second part says to find the actual answer to see if we're correct. So the actual answer means add up the real numbers, okay? So we've got 321, 278, 315 that we're going to add together. Ooh, there's 9 and 4. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tens, which is 110. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 913. Okay, 913. Oh, you know what? That's not a 3, that should be a 4. Check. When I just looked, I checked myself. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 914 points. Okay, 914. This is really close, right? So I would say, yes, we are correct. Yes, I'm correct. Give yourself an exclamation point there, okay? Because 900 rounded, or 914 rounded to the nearest 100 is about 900, so that's perfect, okay? Let me zoom out so that you can take a shot of this if you need to copy anything down, because remember, you are turning in your photo of this page today so that you've got the correct answers that you can study for your test that will take place next week. Let me move this to the side a little bit. Zoom it in and make sure it's clear. Okay, so you can pause the video if you need to copy anything down. We're going to continue on page 238 next. Okay, so we're almost done. You'll notice too that this is really the end of the unit and all the information in the back. We've talked about this at the very beginning of the year when we started math. It was all of the different resources. So you'll want to keep this. Multiplication tables, the glossary, right? All kinds of good things. Because when we start our next unit, Unit 4, you're going to have that Volume 2 book that your parents have picked up this week. So make sure that if they haven't done that by Friday, that they get into Roosevelt and pick that up because you're going to need that information. Okay, so let's look at number 16. A couple more things to do. It says Darien sells 293 bags of popcorn and 321 bags of peanuts. That's the information. Here's what they are asking me to do. How many bags of popcorn and peanuts does Darien sell? Sounds to me like I'm just going to add those two numbers together to prove my answer. Okay. I like this space over here. I'm going to write 293. Those are popcorn bags. Here are bags of peanuts. Hopefully, you got 614 for your answer. 614 bags, right? They already gave us the label. Part B says to write a subtraction word problem related to how many bags of popcorn and peanuts Darien sells. Then find the answer without doing any calculations. Why would they tell us to find the answer without doing any math? That's without doing any ungrouping or grouping or, right? Just doing it. Think about how we know how addition and subtraction are related. If I know my total is 614, one of my add-ins is 293, the other one is 321, right? I know that I can add these together to get my total. I can take my total and either subtract one of the add-ins and I'll be left with the other one. If I go this direction, I'll be left with this one. So I already know all three numbers that are involved in my problem. So I don't have to do the math work. I've already done it up here. But what I do have to do is write a subtraction word problem. Okay? So if it's a subtraction, then I need to start with the total, right? So let's just say Darien, remember you're copying this down. Darien sells 614 bags of peanuts and popcorn, right? Because that's what we just figured out. All together, between the peanuts and the popcorn, Darien sells 614. Let's say if he sells 293 bags of popcorn, can you think about what my question is going to be? How many bags of peanuts did Darien sell? Okay, Darien might be a girl. I had a student who was Darien, and it was a boy, so that's why I wrote he. If you want to write she, you may do that. Okay, so there's my question. What's my answer? Darien sells how many bags of peanuts? 321 bags of peanuts. I don't need to do any of the work, the calculation, because, right, I've used this part of my fact family and this part of my fact family. So I know that this last part left is going to be my answer of my fact family. Okay, those numbers are related to each other. One last one to do. I bet you can do it all on your own. A zoo has 209 reptiles. Ugh. There are 93 lizards and 52 turtles. The rest are snakes. Ooh, who would want snakes, right? How many snakes are at the zoo? So how many what? How many snakes? And there's our label right there. Sounds to me like this is a two-step word problem. We know that the zoo has 209 reptiles all together. 93 of them are lizards. 52 are turtles, right? And the rest are snakes. And I'm going to put the letter S as my variable, right? So how am I going to figure that out? This is very similar to one we did the other day, one that was in your math journal to do as well. Here's my total, right? What do I have here between these two types of reptiles? I have 93 of one and 52 of another. How much does that add up to? So let's start with our first step. 93 plus 52 more. Okay, why don't you solve that and see what you get? Hopefully, you got 145 like I did. Okay, so now I know that these two together make up 145. So now I'm trying to find that missing unknown information, the number of snakes, right? I start with 209, 145 of them are made up of lizards and turtles. The remainder is made up of snakes. So remember, in a two-step word problem, I'm going to use this information in my next problem. 209 reptiles minus 145 reptiles. 9 minus 5 is 4. 0 minus 4, I cannot do that. 10 minus 4, I can do that. 1 minus 1 cancels each other out, right? 64. So I'm left with 64 snakes. That's my third addend. Okay, so I could add these three numbers together and I should get 209. So let's check our work. 93, 52, 64. 4, 6, 9. 9 plus 5 is 14, right? I can make a 10 and have 4 left. So there's 14 plus 6 more gives me 20. 209, 209. So I know that my answer of 64 was correct. Okay, they give me these addends. I had to figure out the third one. Okay, so here's your other cloud. 238 along with 237. You're going to take a good photograph of both of those pages to show that you followed along and copied the work down correctly. That way, you've got 6 pages now of problems that you can look over. You can get quizzed on. Your parents can create some just like that, right? And you're going to be preparing yourself for your Unit 3 test that's going to take place next week. All right. Good luck with your studying. I know you can do it.